Hello! Welcome to Chug Chat. We were having a very wholesome discussion behind the scenes. Today we are going to discuss spaceships in all their forms. The title says the best spaceships, but they don't even have to be the best. We can talk about really crappy spaceships if you want.
Good.
But they don't have to be in movies. They don't even have to be on TV. They could be from books. They could be from video games, anything. Any kind of spaceship you have. If you want to talk about Lego spaceships, go right ahead. I've got a few way up back there. But before we get started, let's go around and say hi. So let's start with you to my left. You right there. Yeah, you speak.
Me. I words. I mouth talk. My mouth is not broken anymore. It's fixed.
That is good. Yes.
Right? I know y'all missed that. Okay, but yeah. So hi everybody. I'm Sarah. What was the question?
That was it.
Awesome. I accomplished it then.
Now tell us your hometown and one thing about yourself.
No, my security number is your mom. And yes, I'll be live later again with Pons and Danny Staten tonight. It'll be great.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm really excited to see what you guys have been cooking up.
Yeah, I made a song or 20.
Okay.
So yeah, it'll be something anyways.
And Harold.
Yep, I am Harold the Hatter. Hello, how do you do?
Follow him on Twitch. I sometimes show up on his streams.
Sorry,
I have a Twitch. I can go with you sometimes.
Yeah. We'll do
our
our plugs later. But, just saying hi.
Yeah. I was like,
Okay, this guy down here.
I am Damien, aka the D-Man. How's it going?
Good.
And last but most definitely not least,
Thrash Pondo the Pawns, but my friends call me Trash. Good to see you guys.
Trash Panda. Yes.
Trash.
And this is my new Cornelius action figure.
Oh,
fantastic.
That is fancy.
Thrash didn't see, so I gotta hold him up again.
Cool squared.
Yeah, he's kind of out of focus, but it's Cornelius. So okay, let's go ahead and get started. And I guess I'll just get the easy one out of the way first, and well, maybe not. Or maybe I will. Okay, yeah. The Millennium Falcon from Star Wars. One of the most iconic spaceships of all time. And what makes it so cool, aside from it being kind of a junker and being really asymmetrical, and I don't know, it has this mystique around it. And I want to just put it to you guys. Why is the Millennium Falcon so cool?
Because
it's the most improbable looking spaceship of all time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It looks like nothing else you've ever seen.
It's also the fastest hunk of junk in the galaxy. So.
Right.
Right.
It can travel a length in time.
Yes.
As a time measurement.
One fifth of a parsec.
It's mind-blowing.
That's right. It can replace time with length, which is amazing. I mean, it breaks physics.
The fabric of space-time.
Oh, crap. Hold on. I forgot to say hi to people. So let me say hi to people in the comments.
Yeah.
We have Snarky. She was here. I don't know if she's still here, but she was here. Daryl Johnson was here. He's still here, I'm sure. Hello, Daryl. Danny Staten from South Carolina is here.
Greetings.
I've heard of him.
Skellyton is on one of our Twitches. I'm not sure whose.
No, he's on my
on your
YouTube.
YouTube. Cool.
Yeah. He's awesome.
Skelly.
Daryl's more interested in the aluminum Falcon, apparently.
That's actually from Robot Chicken.
Oh,
yes.
That makes sense.
Also pronounced aluminium Falcon.
Aluminium, yes. That's one of the few instances where I think the British are correct and we are wrong. I like
aluminium because they got
better.
stasis. It's all about stasis. Stasis.
Stasis device.
I love Space 899, don't get me wrong. But if I hear your stasis one more time, I'm going to be murdering people. I mean, in the past.
I got to throw in laboratory also. Like, that's another.
Laboratory. That is good. Okay, but hi, Keith. Keith is also here, as always.
Yeah, Keith, he's crazy.
Channel member Indie Spoats is here.
Of course.
He's already seen my Hitchhiker's Guide video that will be coming out later today.
Indy, what are you gonna
Nice.
do? There's no trivia tonight. What are you gonna do, man?
Yeah, I know. What's he gonna do with himself?
Well, the trivia is: will Sarah do something crazy tonight later? There you go.
There's nothing trivial about you, Sarah.
Hello,
Aw,
Mercy.
thanks.
Welcome to Tug Chat.
She's awesome,
too. And yeah, Indy says it's awesome because it made the Kessel Run.
Oh, by the way, the term the Kessel Run, you know where that term came from? At least my understanding.
No,
World
honestly,
War
I don't.
II, at the siege of Stalingrad, the Luftwaffe was airlifting in supplies, and they referred to the area as the Kessel, which is the cauldron, because it was like a maelstrom of
Right.
fighting in and around Stalingrad. So the pilots nicknamed it the Kessel Run.
Huh.
That makes sense.
Okay,
Oh,
cool.
I thought I had to do something with prohibition, but okay. Oh, there goes my phone.
It's just a really cool sounding term, the Kessel Run.
It is.
I'm
It
on the
sounds
Kessel Run.
great.
It does. All right. Let's not throw my phone around anymore.
Indy knew, of course.
Of course.
Of course. And thank you for confirming that, because I was actually on the fence as to whether or not that was accurate. Some of my trivia is, speaking of Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, apocryphal or at least wildly inaccurate.
Yes. It's amazing how much of the stuff that we think we know is just wrong, just flat out wrong. And we can't tell the difference.
thanks.
You
Somebody
made that
said
up,
that we
didn't
took as like accurate, and then we've always carried it forward.
Exactly, yeah. These things
But
just spread.
sometimes, and this has happened to me, sometimes I've actually made stuff up and it's been right. I'm like,
I do it all the time. All the time. I understand.
The Illuminati. Oh my
Nah,
god!
the universe is just what you make of it. You've projected
right.
that fact out into the world.
it's one of those Matrix moments where, well, gee, Bob, you're just a brain in a tank, so of course you can make stuff up and have it be real. Did I freeze again?
You
No.
did.
Oh, you did.
Yes.
Yes, you
Oh.
did.
We did. Wait a
It
minute.
looks-
Wait a minute. I thought you
7
said
minutes.
that.
7 minutes,
7
15
minutes.
seconds.
We didn't even take bets yet.
Yeah.
It looks like you got like a lightsaber going through your hand. It's kind of...
Oh, it does.
I'm going to do my one pop out and pop back in. I'll be back.
Okay.
Nothing is as good as that face that he was in my backstage a few months back or whatever it was. Who knows anymore? And he froze, right? And Dan's like, "You gotta take a picture of that." So I did, and I promptly made it into a short, of course. Anyways, make sure you look at my channel for all the space faces of
Okay.
pawns. He's just like,
Okay, a couple more. I gotta say hi to Autumn ASMR. We got an ASMR channel. Awesome.
yes,
Hey.
she's awesome as well.
She'd whisper, "Hello and welcome."
That's what you did. No, it's piece of music and stuff like you know,
you're here.
Harold does.
It's too bad we
see,
don't have
like that.
Joe here. He can do
Yeah,
the
really.
ASMR thing.
Oh god!
Look,
He's
I
got
can
a
pick up my
sexy,
mic.
sexy voice.
Hey everybody, it's all good here.
See, I can
That's
do it.
pretty good, yeah. Michael DeCosimo is here again, as always. Hello, Michael.
Nice.
Good to see you.
Hey.
And yeah, Danny Staten, he's been here.
Oh yeah, something about him.
Indy says that wasn't creepy at all.
What?
You don't like the sound of my voice making sweet, subtle dances around your ears?
Fresh is like, what?
Hi!
Buzz is back. Let's behave.
Am I on the right channel?
This is
No, you got it on the
ASMR
wrong
Tug
one now.
Chat.
Just no feet.
I just so happen to like lollipops. I just want to put that out there.
Are we still on that?
No, we are not. Stop it.
Bad, Crash, bad.
All right, that's right. Okay.
And scene.
Okay, so the Millennium Falcon.
I heard
Looks
about
like
it.
It looks like an orthodontal appliance.
It did.
But it's one
Like
of the
something I
cool
wanna
ships of all
swallow.
time.
I like how it's basically just an encapsulation of the character of Han Solo, just like this unexpected. he's obviously a con man and a rogue, but he's also, you know, he's Han Solo. He's got a heart of gold. He's going to change, and you know, he's really really good at what he does. So I think the Millennium Falcon is a perfect encapsulation of that. It's just like held together by spit and grease and duct tape, and you know, it manages to be the best ship in the galaxy, right?
When it's working, it's on point.
Yeah,
for
when
sure.
it's working.
Yeah, when it works.
Right?
It
It's like,
is
it's like
the
a Ford. It's like a
backwoods-
Ford.
It is the backwoods Alabama
Harrison
racer
Ford.
that happens to win NASCAR, like
Right.
the Daytona 500. Like it is,
It's
it
been
is.
left.
There's no way that it should do this, and yet it still does.
Well, let's face facts. I mean, Han Solo is a moonshine runner from the Prohibition era.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes.
So that's what I
So
would have
that-
assumed the Castle Run came from was
Right.
back then.
Prohibition makes sense.
So that totally holds water. You talk about that backwoods,
Liquor,
good old
actually.
boy. Yeah, definitely.
Oh yeah, he was taking his spaceship off all the jumps. It was awesome. Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah. No. That's
Just
exactly
a
what I
good
was.
old boy.
Yeah,
Never
exactly.
meaning no harm.
Oh, you know what? And on top of it, actually, Damien, now that you say that, it was a couple of good old boys
Yeah.
with Han
Yeah.
Solo and Wook and Chewie.
Wook-
Like,
Chewie, yeah.
just-
Never meaning no
Yeah.
harm. You know,
yeah, it is.
They're-
It is the
they're
Dukes
missing
of
with the
just
Hazzard.
Hazzard
running
since
from
the
the
day they were
law
born.
since the day they were born.
Right. Ah. How
and
that
one
comes
guy has
together.
an accent so thick that only his friend can understand him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No, that's great.
Right. Chewbacca's the backwoods Cajun that
Yeah.
no one
Yeah.
can understand.
He's the
Nobody
Boomhauer in the
understands.
Star Wars
Yeah.
universe. Yeah.
Exactly.
Power.
It holds
like
water. The more I
Yes.
think about it, the more- how this has never dawned on me before.
Right?
Well, yeah, but then I think back to like the holiday special, and I just never mind.
Oh God,
We
no!
can't
Don't think
save
about
it.
that.
We can't save it.
Less said about that. The less
Well,
said
listen,
about
it's still better than Jar Jar Binks, and that's not saying anything,
it. She said that word.
You said it.
She said that word.
right?
The name that should not be spoken.
I will say it again too. Behave.
Oh yeah. Midichlorian. Ooh.
Stop it!
Oh.
No!
Get out of here. Be gone with you.
I went there.
Ooh, bacteria boy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so ships.
We have fun.
Yeah, spaceships.
Oh yeah,
Spaceships. Yep.
Yeah,
Spaceships.
spaceships. I heard about
Spaceships.
that.
So, are we done with the Millennium Falcon? Should we go into another one?
I think we should move on. Yeah.
I mean, because it's become the Millennium Falcon show.
It could be.
Well, I was going to say one thing I was going to say also that's really unique about it is that when you look at most spaceships, like the cockpit is always in the middle, right?
Right.
And when you look at a lot of the spaceships that we have on a list, and that I promise you, like they look like basically like planes, right? Whereas the Millennium Falcon, like the cockpit is off to the right. You have it doesn't look like it's aerodynamic in any way, shape, or form. And in space, it doesn't have to be aerodynamic per se, right? Because it's a vacuum, and so you're not going to have the resistance that you don't have to have the lift, right, when you're in space. And so
Yeah,
that's
but
why
I mean, even in other Star Wars spaceships, you see like airfoils and wings, and even a Star Destroyer has like a flat bottom to it, you know, and like
right.
The Millennium Falcon has none of that, really. I mean,
None
it
of
does
that.
kind of have a flat bottom, but it's
mildly
more like a
disc-shaped, you know,
disc, yeah,
so-
like a saucer almost. But it does. It looks like the cockpit was just kind of tacked on afterwards, and like they forgot to build a cockpit, so that they just like put it on the side.
Well, there's a good reason for that though in its design. So
Is there?
yeah, those two things that stick out the front are grapplers basically.
That's right.
In the
yes.
original design, because it was a freighter essentially, like a
It could,
tugboat.
carry
Yeah,
things.
so it
right.
would, or like a
Okay.
truck, you know,
It was
so
a
it would
tugboat?
grab onto the cargo, which was a
The
long straight
tugboat.
thing of basically containers,
right.
and you'd have to have the
Good
cockpit off to
point.
the side so you could see around the thing, you know. So
That's a good point. That's a good point.
yes, bringing that technical knowledge in.
Yeah.
It's good to see you, Mountain Girl, and also Polly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you're bringing in lots of viewers.
I follow New Hampshire Mountain Girl. I like her streams.
Right? I'm also there sometimes too. I love them. They're family. They're flocking family because the word.
We're all parts
My
of the
flock.
flock. We've all been assimilated.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, I like the
You will all
word.
be one
It's
with the
a
flock.
lot more fun. Yeah.
She spans the continent, like so. The flock
Resistance
spans
is
the
futile.
continent.
The globe, okay? I'm
Oh yeah,
global.
yeah. That's true. That's true.
hmm
Did Thrash freeze again this time on the
No.
phone, or is he actually moving?
He's moving.
Oh, okay.
I see him.
For a second, it really looked like he was frozen.
Frozen.
You hear me now?
Exactly. Right.
Just put on some hold music.
Elevator music, my favorite. Hey, welcome back, Hans.
Very unprofessional. There was a phone call, and I didn't recognize the number. I thought it might have been an emergency. It was some scam where they wanted me to come over and get a new gas meter. So
Right.
They want
That's
you
fine.
to go get a new gas meter somewhere else for your gas meter at your home.
I
What?
was gonna say, were they trying to checking with you on your car's extended warranty?
your home is due for a new gas meter. Please contact this number. And I'm like, But again, when people call me on Sunday, it's either spam or an emergency. So I had to check. I apologize. Very unprofessional.
No, that's fine. One thing I love
yeah,
about
yeah.
my phone is that like I still use my old phone number from when I lived in Florida. So I have an area code from Florida. So if I get phone calls, I know it's spam if it's anything other than a St. Louis area code, because there's just no chance anybody else is calling me unless it's family and they're already in my phone. So like I automatically know it's 99% of the time it's going to be spam because it's some other area code, which is very handy.
Right?
I'm the
Yeah.
same.
I can't even remember how to check my voicemail on my phone anymore, but I can YouTube, so I'm gonna take it. So that's why I tell everybody, text me first, let me know it's you, then I'll answer it. Otherwise,
I still every once in a while will pick one up just because I don't know, I get that feeling that maybe it's a real call, but 100% of the time it's always spam every single time, but I still do it.
I want to say hi to Zero as well. He just popped in chat as well.
Oh, okay. I will highlight Cursed Zero.
Yes.
Cursed
He's
Zero,
awesome.
but existing. Interesting.
Mhm.
Waiting
He
in
does that
fullness.
too.
Yes. I wouldn't accept any calls from New Jersey either.
I don't think anybody would. Just go better.
What is it? The Pine Woods? What's the forest in Jersey where people go in and they never come back out again?
I think so. Something like that.
Indy
The
posits
Pine
that
Barrens or something
in
like that?
science
Pine
fiction,
Barrens?
only the bad guys get the coolest ships.
Yeah, I just saw that. I was like, yeah, that's
Yeah.
truth. Yeah,
That's
Star
mostly
Wars,
true.
Star Trek.
Absolutely true. I got a long list in my, and a lot of them are villain
Mhm.
spaceships. Yeah,
Yep.
especially
Yep.
the fighters. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay, Sarah, you name a
All right,
spaceship.
Sarah.
Do it.
Okay. Well, as of course you guys would all know that I would love Star Trek stuff, but we'll get onto that. I have to say, one of my favorite ships of all time is from Babylon 5, the Vorlon ships, because they're half living.
That
They're
is a very
just
cool
amazing.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah, they're organic in nature, so they can do a lot of things, right? There was also an episode of Star Trek TNG with Tin Man, right, where they had
Right,
little
right.
kind of organic ships. I think that's amazing. If I were to have a ship, I want it to be something organic like that, because think about all the possibilities you could do with it. Change shapes, whatever. Make
No,
better
it's a really
atmosphere.
neat
I don't know.
idea.
Listen, it just
Yeah.
sounds great. Yeah.
Sorry, when you said all the things you can do with a partially organic ship, I had to kind of laugh. But just because
Googling is
sorry,
dangerous
influence
for you.
from yes.
Somebody's
But-
mind is in the gutter today.
I no, like
I
it's
know
in the
that.
He lives there.
conversation.
I know.
Yeah. And so,
Scott's like, oh yeah.
We've all become 12-year-old boys again. I don't know what.
hey, ship,
Oh,
I've
yeah,
got
baby.
$240 worth of pudding. Oh,
$140 worth of pudding. Oh,
I cook.
yeah.
And then I chill.
I
right.
actually haven't seen a ton of Babylon 5. What I've seen I've really liked, but I've never been able to like, it's one of those shows
okay.
that I feel like I want to watch the entire thing, and like I never have that kind of block of time to do that, or at least I don't think I do.
See, for me, it's Star Trek Babylon 5, Space 99 now, because of course. and then Battlestar Galactica, the original, not the remake, because I don't know what that was.
I
But
like
then
the
also, okay. Anyways, so so I do find that hilarious. That's cute of you. Okay, but the Babylon 5, like I loved it. Like I watched it as a kid, and then when it went to like TNT, because of course I couldn't watch it anymore, so I had to bribe my neighbor down the street so she would record it for me. It cost me a lot of cigarettes, but I did it. Okay, for Babylon 5, I would do it for Star Trek 2. Anyways, but my point being, right, is Babylon 5 has some of the like the oh my gosh, I can't think of what they're called now. Whatever, the ones that were fighting with Earth in the before time. Minbari, there we go. The Minbari cruisers. Those things are just scary looking. You got like, the bad guys, right? I can't think of what they're called right now either. Shadows, right?
ones?
The shadows, right?
Oh, the
Their
other.
ships, right? They're like half organic ships too, and the ships themselves are like, living in. They have the pilot in them. It's crazy the way they look, the screams they make. Freaking Babylon 5 has some of the best ships ever, in my opinion.
I started watching Babylon 5 and I really enjoyed it. The problem is the Varn were my favorite characters and they kept losing. And I got tired of it. It's like I want to see my side win for a while. So I mean, I did watch it for a while. I did check out, but I will tell you, the spaceship design was amazing. It was really, because they were really going for that old school golden age vintage sci-fi look, and I thought they really nailed it.
I think they still hold up today too. Even with the CGI of the time. I'm sorry, but I think it still holds up today because the designs of the ship and the functionality of them is so amazing that any visuals or whatever can be excused 100% because I mean the effects are so good. And I mean the Borg, like you see them, you go, oh no, crap, it's a big square. I don't like, right? You see a shadow come at you, the way they can maneuver real quick and stuff in atmosphere, in space, it doesn't matter. No, I'm good. I gotta go. I go fill out the Borg. It sounds like safer.
I like the design of the Vorlon spaceships in that like they kind of look squid like or like cuttlefish like. They got like
Yeah.
those tentacle things sticking out. I just think that looks really neat.
Whoa.
Oh, hello.
Hey, Morris.
See, somebody just popped into my chat, Sunny Sunstorm. She's got amazing cats. If you want to see some
Oh,
cats,
she does.
yes,
She does.
she shares her
Hi,
cats.
Sunny.
I love her cats.
They're very
Oh
cute.
yeah. Anyways, there you go.
No, I mean, and you mentioned Tin Man from Next Generation. Just that whole concept of a living ship, even though I'm pretty sure that's like a season 1 or maybe even a season 2 episode. It's still pretty early and kind of hokey, but it's still like has that really neat kernel of an idea in it, and they explore it really well.
Minus the plot of that.
The
There's
weird psychic
Romulans
dude
in
and all
it.
that, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, I can't shut it off, and then you got Troy going, "Ah!" Yeah, Troy, stop crying. Could you ever? Like every episode, it's a violation. I gotta cry. Why are you here? Go to the transport ship, like you said to the other person. Go. It's okay.
This is why we brought a woman on the show, because none of us could say that.
Oh, I would say it all day long. Stop crying.
Yeah, Tin Man was a really cool ship in
yes,
Next Generation. I was actually going to bring that up at some point, but that one's a really cool one.
Yeah, because I mean, think about it too. The ship was so sad that his crew died, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
he was depressed.
Right. I mean,
he's lonely.
Right. The function of symbiosis of it all is, the ship was going to kill himself.
Yeah, he's literally going to kill himself. He's going to off himself. Yeah.
And then he's like, the Tin Man or whatever, he can, or whatever the guy's name was, who cares? He cried a lot too. Anyways. Anyways, so minus all that crying in the episode, it was really good though when the ship, took out the Romulans and stuff, and then the other Romulans were like, what happened to the ship? And the Federation, look, dude, I don't know. And then the person's like, did you not think that we could have been wiped out too when you said just danger? Like, and then anyway, there was some more crying that happened.
Because like it brings up a really interesting like scenario because of the fact that we're getting into AI, right? And if we get spaceships, AI is absolutely going to be a part of that. And then if you have a spaceship with a consciousness, right? And like if we're the ones that are designing it, you
Did he cut out on
Just-
anybody
I
else? or
think
was it
he
just
just
me?
right?
lost
Yeah,
up
he-
there for a second.
He's I don't know who you said either.
I thought you were pausing for dramatic effect.
That's what you do, Bonds.
If we
Okay,
Shatner.
Kirk. Shatner. It's pulling a Shatner.
Right?
But there was another Next Generation episode like that. I think it was called like Emergence or something, and the Enterprise started like developing these nodes and was developing its
Right,
own
yes.
kind of
Yeah,
consciousness.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was good too because you got to do Vertivorm City.
Right.
Yeah.
Dana's like holding the car back, and he's like, "I found the next thing." then Troy, the building falls on Troy. She's crying again.
I like how this started with Sarah saying she wasn't going to talk about Star Trek.
And then we're talking about Star Trek.
What did that one fly first, and then to Star Trek? Okay.
This is the non-Star
I got
Trek
range,
channel.
Not as predictable.
Mhm.
I just like the
That's a
idea of
thing.
like if we create an AI spaceship, like we need society. So eventually that spaceship's going to want society like in it also and be part of something greater in a
Right.
community and stuff like that. And so the need for that spaceship to develop generations, like and be able to and then on top of it, like these spaceships and the the history that they're going to carry of human history, the people, the individuals, each generation's like when we go to like ancestry.com, right? Like the spaceship will be our ancestry.com, like for like as long as we keep it up and for generations and the hard drives and all that different stuff. And so to me that concept, like especially with the Tin Man and that connection that it develops, especially like with empathy and we had talked to like with androids and robots and stuff like that, the empathy that they play out. Like now you're talking about a living spaceship. To me, it's such a fascinating concept when you talk about like the psychological impacts of this and what these ships, like we often see them as they are their own characters, but they're not a conscious character. And in that, and the Tin Man and what Sarah brought up, like these are conscious characters now, and that actually could be more in line with where we go rather than what we see most ships being.
Right, and then think about it too, because like if it's like how there's ship or crew error, right, that causes deaths in most of the crews and stuff, right? What if there's ship error and you space your entire crew? I mean, then the ship is like all sad, unless it's a murderous ship. Then I don't know, but you gotta think about that too, right? Like, does your ship become
Ship was
corrupt?
born that way.
Does your ship become corrupt and take over because it thinks all human life should be wiped out except for the small part?
Or is it just going to think of us as like its intestinal flora and not really give us that much attention?
Right. I mean, are we the worms in its belly? I mean, I don't know. Maybe we're the creatures. Who knows, right? Anyway, so creature topics next week will be about that.
Considering we're actually on the verge of possibly having biological computers as well,
that's
using
definitely a
actual
thing.
brain cells of living creatures.
Mintax.
Yeah. So it's like, could we end up with computers that have like, issues, if you will,
Yeah.
beyond just mechanical artificial intelligence, but like biological / mechanical artificial intelligence, or electronic artificial intelligence, I should say, having issues,
Well, this is something that like Arthur C. Clarke was obsessed with maybe 100 years ago, and like it's still like seems like it's coming true.
Yep.
Well, the problem is if the computers have no emotion, then they would have no empathy, and they would wipe us out basically on a whim. But if they have emotion,
if they cared,
anything that has emotion can have, well, for want of a better word,
empathy,
emotional breakdowns.
Yeah.
Right. Or emotional disorders. Yeah.
Right,
Cyber
yeah, so-
PMS.
Illness.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah. So now we got a ship that's on the period and then also mentally ill, and then also thinks that the symbiosis, the thing of the crew is now bad. So now you get space because it's just one of those days.
Yeah,
That's
Said
not
I'm gonna
good.
have nightmares.
because somebody
the
said
Millennium
something
Falcon
wrong.
with schizophrenia. Like,
Yeah.
Well, if I remember correctly, that's the premise behind
Oh
Druna.
no!
All right, for you emotionally 13-year-old boys out there, anybody remember Druna, the comic series?
Mm-mm.
Never heard of it.
no.
I was never a boy.
It was done in heavy metal, and it's basically told through the story of this ridiculously hot heroine. She's like hottest thing. Anyway,
That's
I
not me.
digress. But what happens is they're on a generational ship, and the generational ship goes insane, and things kind of go downhill from there.
Mm.
Okay.
It's a really long and involved story, and I'm surprised that ship actually didn't make this list. But I've written to the record at least, so I'm going to count it.
There's already been a couple that people have mentioned in the comments that I've had to write down because I didn't think of them yet.
Well, because Dan was talking about Flight of the Navigator. It's another one of those kind of ships. I mean, it's got life to it, right?
It
But
does,
it's like
yeah.
artificial life, nonetheless. But still,
It's Pee Wee
life,
Herman
right?
also, so
Again, life. That right. Anyway, movie theaters and all that. But my point being is, like that's another one of those things. Like if that ship was like organic too, like I don't know, it's got liquid metal of a sort, anyways. So why not have that as life? I don't know. It'd be crazy.
it kind of felt like the ship was alive. I'm not sure,
did.
but it did kind of feel that way.
But yeah, dude, like you said that, how amazing it was when they filmed that, and you couldn't see any people in the frames. Like that was some good filming they did.
It was. I was very impressive.
Right? Yeah, I know. I was like, well, somebody else thinks the same way I do. Like, that's one of my favorite scenes to just like go over. I'm like, look, you don't see. It's so cool.
And like it's the shape of it is very similar to the shape
Mhm.
of Tin Man. It's kind of like an egg shape.
Right? Yeah.
And if you look at any like retrospective of Star Trek Next Generation, like a clips of all the greatest hits, you always see that shot of Tin Man like spinning and like that disc forms around it. I mean, that
Right,
always
yeah.
shows up because it's such an
Exactly.
interesting image.
Well, yeah, like I said, the whole concept of organic ships and living ships, right? And ships that are like-minded. I guess the same way. I guess my birds are like-minded, like me. Somehow. Anyways, you know what I mean? My birds just randomly bite me. So I mean, is the ship just one day gonna fill me in the shower? I don't know, but it's a good concept, though, in my opinion. Like living ships, that's crazy. Like the Vorlons, like I said, they had those planet killers. I mean, they literally just blew up planets. That was their whole purpose. I mean, how did you convince the ship for that? Do you build these? How do you go, dear organism that could kill this planet? You're okay with it, right?
Ship, we were doing an analysis and we found a work folder that doesn't seem to actually have work in it. Can you explain? Shut up. Shut up. Stop it. That's an invasion of my privacy. Shut up. Shut up.
Not taxes.
Right? Anyways, living ships.
So, I don't know. There's some interesting like concepts, especially like again, these things are going to be created by humans, so they're going to be created in our image or our likeness because we are restricted to our own experience, right? We can't we have a difficult time understanding something beyond ourselves, right? And so they're going
There are
to
only
mimic
2 Terminator movies. I mean, come on.
Wait, I think this is Terminator 2,
Sorry.
and we're going to leave it at that.
Yeah.
Right.
Terminator and Terminator 2. They're everything
Some would
else
say
after
you should
that.
stop with just one.
Right. Again, if that logic,
Arguably.
if that logic, then I picked 2 because 2's better. Plus, Sarah's in it.
One day I will do an entire stream
Here's
devoted
the
to
first one.
Terminator 2, but not today.
Listen, I look forward to that.
Anyway. Sorry to cut you off there, Scott, but that popped
Nope.
up. I had to say.
I said, yeah. I
No,
had to put that on
absolutely
the
no.
screen.
I loved it. I loved it.
Okay, so Scott, your turn.
So I'm gonna go with to me, I think this is one of the most iconic spaceships ever. It doesn't look like a spaceship at all. And that's the TARDIS. It is like
A phone booth.
to walk into a phone booth and all of a sudden there's a massive ship. It's like it's a
Wasn't it a
pocket
police box?
universe. Like it's
Technically,
what's
yes.
that?
Yeah. It's a
It's a
police
police
box.
box.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Police box. Yes,
okay.
sorry.
But
You're
they
right.
used it
You're
to
right.
make telephone calls, so technically you're both right.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, okay.
We do
So,
nitpick here.
I need a beard.
There was a phone
Yeah,
in
no,
there. Yeah.
I know. I don't know why today I'm like so like I'm playing with my beard so much. Anyways,
Now let's address the
Banana.
fact that Damien's not wearing a hat. Did he not get the memo?
Apparently
Right?
not. And I know we were
Right?
playing with my pussy, so I mean, you're playing with your beard.
Anyways.
but no,
I'm
like
stroking my cat.
TARDIS, I like the TARDIS to me like is an absolute like iconic spaceship, and the best part of it is that it doesn't even look like a spaceship, and when it's flying, the thing that I love is that it's like, you know, it rotates and all this different like tumbling. It's fantastic. It's wonderful, and so
What I like about it too
I just
is
I
that
I
it's
absolutely love.
bigger on the inside than it is on the outside. So in reality, it's got
Yeah.
infinite space. I love that.
Yeah, it's its own little like pocket universe almost, and
Mhm.
so it's a really unique concept, and it's a really unique approach to you know, a spaceship,
Mhm.
and it can travel through time. Like it's
Yeah.
you know,
And the Bill and
it's
Ted version
absolutely-
comes
and
with
it's-
George Carlin, so
you know,
Well,
gotta say,
to anyone who has seen
George
Repo
Carlin
Man,
can-
which I still say Repo Man is the quintessential 80s movies of all time. But if you've seen Repo Man, there's an amazing explanation of how a time machine and a spaceship are the same thing.
yeah.
So, Scott, I'm going to so give it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not
straight
just
up.
because I'm a Whovian, but because, yes, that does make perfect sense, particularly because he uses it to go from place to place. And one thing I always loved about it as a kid was it was a safe zone. No one could get in or
Yeah.
out of it without his permission. So once he's inside, he's like, nanny, nanny, nanny. And that alone, I thought that was actually even cooler than the fact that they could travel in time.
That's
So,
actually
so
a
it's
full
a
kidnapping and
it's a
imprisonment.
sci-fi white van, is what you're saying. Nobody can get out
Right?
once they're
No,
in there.
And
Yeah.
inside, but
Yeah.
police.
no, but no,
Yeah,
like
that's
the
crime.
like to build on what you're saying, Thrash, like the fact that it's a police box, right? And again, especially our generation growing up, like Gen X and older, like, well, again, with our level of melanin, you know, police were the safe place, right? Right. The police were safe. So like you've got this police box, like you can go in there, you're safe. You've got a hero in there that's gonna like protect the world, the universe, time, right? Like there's so many different levels of security, right? And so I absolutely get that concept, right? And so you know, and again, when he gets scared, he doesn't get scared about much, but when the doctor gets scared, to me there's an extra level, because he's oftentimes, depending on the doctor, very irreverent, right, about situations. And when he gets scared, right, the dialects and all that stuff, when he gets scared, that's when it's like, oh no, the doctor's scared, this must be bad, right, kind of thing. And so it adds that extra, because I've noticed, and I love that you bring that up, that security and safety, because I've noticed when he gets scared, I get a little bit more anxious, right? But it plays on that concept. Sorry.
No, and I could agree with you more. It's palpable. I mean, it's almost like we're getting our cues from him. It's really amazing, and I couldn't agree with you more.
These Time Lords in their safe spaces.
Well, I
But
mean,
yeah,
if you had a robot running after you going exterminate. Oh shit, it didn't
Okay,
work.
see, that doesn't scare me
Exterminate.
as much as those angels do, right? Because you have to keep looking at them. And as soon as you don't look at them, and I have ADHD, so I'm dead. Okay, I'm dead. Right? So as as you can imagine, those frighten me. I mean, I can like sit down and for like an hour till the Daleks find me, okay, and then I could just go to the next room and like shut the door and go out the window because they can't even do that. But those angels, man, I have to keep looking at them, and I'm dead.
Yeah, that was
I was never a fan of the next incarnation of Doctor Who, but those angels scared the bejeez out of me.
Right? Yeah. So
Right?
like the Borg, they're coming for me. I got like 3 hours. All right. I have to keep an eye on those angels. I'm dead.
and also, like,
fine. I'm dead.
like anytime you have to look someone in the eye, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that gets really uncomfortable, and we naturally want to look away, right? Especially when it's a threat, right? There's that natural like wanting to look away, head down, kind of like meek, right?
Yeah,
Right,
look away.
right.
Yeah, exactly.
And so like it plays on so many different. Anyways, I don't want to get into like Doctor Who, but like that TARDIS to me is one of the most, like, you see it everywhere. It's got like all, like, you can get TARDIS merch all over the place. We've got a British store here, and it's got a TARDIS for the bathroom and everything. Like the TARDIS is on the outside. You go in, and it's the bathroom. It's wonderful. It's and
I would say send film of that, but never mind if it's the bathroom. Don't.
Right. Yeah. I won't.
Thank you.
But no, it's like again, it's just it's up there with, like, to me, it's up there with like Millennium Falcon and the and a number
it's
of, I won't
absolutely
say
iconic. Yeah.
yeah, and so I'll just, like, I won't mention others that haven't been said so that people can bring them up, but it's an iconic up there with any spaceship that you think of in sci-fi.
Agreed.
All right.
Even though I'm not like a Whovian, I've never actually watched an episode of Doctor Who, but like I know about the TARDIS. I know a lot of details about the TARDIS, but it's another one of those things, Sarah, where like it's overwhelming the amount of Doctor Who there is, and I just don't know where to start.
Right. So
and every time somebody gives me a place to start, I'm like, yeah, I could do that,
right,
but instead I'll do this other thing.
Okay,
Start at the beginning.
So because I'm girl, I started with the best looking Doctor Who, the one that made my eyes go ooh, and I started from that point, and then I watched, and then they made it a girl, and I was like, I'm done, I'm out, I can't even now.
A lot of people left then, so yeah.
I was like, why?
They did it to hurt us.
Anyways,
They did it to hurt us. This is so improbable. We're going to do it, and you're going to accept it. No, I'm
and
not.
I said, no, don't jump the shark. Why are you gonna? You want to jump the shark? I'm out. Anyways, then I left, and I was like, wow, I've been happier since. Yeah. So that's how I did it, but I you probably won't have that option because obviously. Sorry.
Anyway.
The good looking one, start there.
Okay, Thrash, go ahead.
Me?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to go with I was going to say having to like go after the TARDIS is a toughie. But I'm going to go with one that I thought was one of the coolest when I was a kid, and it's also inspirational to future generations of sci-fi. I'm going to go with the Japanese animated classic Space Battle Cruiser Yamato.
Ah. Oh.
Was that on your list, Damien?
Yes, it was.
It was. Oh, sorry, Damien. Sorry, Damien.
No. By all means, you probably know way more about it than I do. So.
Of course, it was known in the States as Star Blazers, although I still think Space Battle Cruiser Yamato is a cool title. Of course, they were really trying to downplay the World War II angle in the United States. I don't know why. It was 30 years after the war. Come on, guys. But anyway, as the premise goes, Earth is being destroyed, and it needs to build a ship pronto to go to this side of the galaxy to get a device to save it. And they decide the best thing to do is they find an old sunken battleship and refit it to be a space cruiser. And what you come up with is part spaceship, part World War II battle cruiser, the Yamato. And to be honest, when I was a kid, I always, because they was referred to spaceships as ships, I kind of had it stuck in my head that they should look more like sailing vessels, and sometimes you actually see that in sci-fi. There was a Doctor Who subplot where there's a space race with spaceships, but they all look like sailing vessels. I can't remember. It was a very hokey concept, but I remembered. But anyway, the Space Battle Cruise Yamato, I mean, by the way, it was also the inspiration for George Lucas's Star Destroyers. I mean, to have a spaceship.
I mean, the Star Destroyer is like a sailing vessel almost. Yeah.
Mhm.
Kind of, yeah.
Well, it has a conning
More like
tower.
Yeah.
Why would a spaceship need a conning tower? But it has a conning tower. Conning towers are cool. You have to have a conning tower. Well, no, you don't have to. No, I want a conning tower. It had a conning tower. It had guns that looked like guns. It just, it looked so cool. And yet at the same time was very, very much a spaceship with its ultimate weapon, the
wave motion gun.
Wave motion gun. Yes. Which they find an excuse to use in virtually every episode. We only need to, this is the last resort weapon. This is the last resort. Oh, wait, we need the last resort weapon.
We're getting our butts kicked. We got to use it.
Right?
Power up the wave motion gun again.
But I loved that ship as a kid, apparently. I was not the only one.
Yeah. Oh, it's that thing is badass. I mean, it's cool. It is so cool looking. And the wave motion gun is considered, like, in sci-fi, circles, one of the most powerful weapons, of all sci-fi. So it's
it always pops up on those lists of most powerful weapons ever
it does.
in science fiction. Yeah.
Yeah, but that is just a cool looking ship it's got big, World War II looking turrets on it and everything, it looks like a battleship, It's like, like a Star Destroyer, all the guns are hidden in the city portions of it or in the side, slots or whatever you want to call them, trenches. You don't really see the guns that often, but that thing, it's like they're right there in front of you. It's like big honking guns right on the top.
Fire the guns. Sorry.
To have a Tim Allen moment.
I know, really.
Hi, Slasher, by the way. I'm not sure if I said hi yet.
I also had a few people on my end too. Hi to them, Timoth and Mothman. However you say his name. Thank you. Yeah, he actually lives by me.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
The Mothman?
The Mothman.
Yeah.
Yes, the Mothman lives next to
Do you know the Mothman?
Yes, actually I do. He's really cool. I talked to him. Yeah.
I hear he's wise.
Does he live on?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I would agree. We have peace in my area because of him. He's the man of you don't want to piss off. Just saying.
But no, I love the Yamato again because of its inspiration, because it really does kind of feel like an old World War II battle cruiser, in space, which that's just so cool. That's all.
I'm trying to find where you can watch the animated version, like the 1974 animated version. It looks like Crunchyroll is actually making a live action version.
It'll probably be dreadful.
I don't know. I hope not.
But never works.
It's worked once so far. I think it's One Piece. Everybody likes One Piece.
I haven't seen it,
so I have no opinion.
But every time I hear about a live action version of an animated, I go, I am cautiously optimistic, and then I see it and I go, why did I have such fool's courage? Why?
It's where video game movies were like 20 years ago. Yeah.
Ooh.
They do have the animated version on Crunchyroll. So
in the original Japanese,
they have it in Japanese or English.
Well,
you can have either one.
Yeah, you can do both.
I didn't realize how bad the English dubbing was until when I was like older and saw it in the original Japanese. I go, man, this was crap in English. In fact, they do things a lot of the American dubbers, I think, banked on the fact that American kids probably weren't paying attention in the first place. But I had an almost misery level of paying attention to little details. And like when spoiler alert, when Nox sacrifices himself and it's this really big emotional thing, and then the doctor comes around and says, oh, by the way, Nox's ship got out right after you left. And I'm like, one, no, it didn't. I was watching. And two, you just ruined Nox's sacrifice with one sentence. I hate you. I hate you.
And they did that on purpose. I know.
I was like well into my 20s, maybe even my 30s, before I realized that a lot of the anime I grew up watching, like the ones that I didn't like versus the ones I did like, usually came down to the dub, not the actual quality of the anime. Like I didn't even realize that until
The
way
only
later.
anime I like
do
is
that.
Boondocks, and there you go.
Oh, Boondocks is glorious.
It's great.
One
Anyways,
of the best.
that's a whole different show for a whole different channel. That's not even mine.
Right.
Well, we'll table the anime discussion until somebody brings up the Bebop. So let's move on.
No.
I have a great story about that, but we'll have to save it for when we're talking.
Yeah, we'll save it. Yeah.
We'll talk about that when we're talking about it.
Let's not talk about it then.
That's a thrash quote if I ever heard one.
Okay, so Damien, what are we talking about?
All right. So one of my favorites of all time, the Executor class Star Dreadnought, or Executor class, depending on what you want to call it, also known as the Super Star Destroyer.
The
Yes.
cerulean blue.
Yeah. Huh?
Wasn't that doesn't Hans refer to those as the cerulean blue?
Maybe.
That
I can't
sounds
remember.
familiar to
Yeah,
me.
because they are
But
kind
yes,
of blue. Yeah.
Yes,
So-
definitely.
But yeah,
I agree.
these things are monstrous. They're 19,000 meters long, so 19 kilometers long. I can't remember what that is in miles, but it's a lot.
About 12.
Sorry, if I'd walked, the movie'd be over.
Yeah, exactly. Cross
You
your
know how
cross.
not maneuverable those ships are, though? I mean, like, they just kind of...
They crash really good, though.
Yeah,
Right,
they do. They
just
crash
kinda,
great. I mean, it's this giant, basically this giant arrowhead in
Arrowhead,
space. Yeah.
Right,
I mean,
yeah.
and it's gigantic and just has so much firepower, and it's just like
It's
I
God's
remember
mouse
seeing that.
pointer.
Yeah,
You know, but then see, that makes me think of
Yeah.
Spaceballs when they go to Plaid. You know, I'm sorry, but that ship just is the longest thing ever.
We
It
break
can't-
for
I mean,
nobody.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
we break for no one.
But
It's
it
one of those
sums it
things
up.
that's like it's just
But
to
it sums
start.
it up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's imperial power projection. It's like we
Right,
got the
right.
biggest ship, and we show up in your solar system with this thing. Is anybody gonna do anything? What you
The
gonna do?
Vorlons, yeah, let's go.
Yeah,
Just a few
exactly.
things out of the palace.
Vorlons are
The
planet
instructions that
killers.
George Lucas gave to ILM about the destruction of the Super Star Destroyer was make it look like the Hindenburg, because that's kind of how he saw the Super Star
Oh,
Destroyer.
the
It
humanity!
was like a gigantic dirigibles that were just built to be giant,
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, there was some sort of behind the scenes, I don't know if it's in like the novels or comic books or whatever, where when they were talking about first making the Super Star Destroyer, a lot of the higher up officers in the Empire saying, how would you even man something like this?
Right, right.
This is so impractical. Why would you need something that big?
It's not a
As you say,
generational
it's
ship
power
either.
projection.
Exactly.
Right,
And then there was another thing where they're like, well, what if it falls into the rebels' hands? And they're like, the rebels don't even have enough people to man the vessel. They couldn't if they wanted to.
But see, they're generational kind of people, so that then the ship would become a generational ship.
Yeah, it could. Yeah.
All right,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
gotta highlight that one.
My Schwartz is bigger than yours. That's exactly what that ship
That's it.
is.
That's it. That's what it is.
Right. So
Look at
we
the
all
size
know
of my
that
Schwartz.
you gotta have your Schwartz. I mean, don't
No,
mess
no,
with
no.
it.
sorry.
Here,
Salute
take
your
it back.
shorts.
I can't believe
Yes.
you.
Right. You know, also, why does the Schwartz make more sense than the bacteria? That's a whole nother subject. You know what? Never mind.
Stop bringing
Yeah.
it up.
I'm
Schwartz
sorry,
is
but it
magic.
confuses me.
We'll talk about that when we're talking about it.
Whatever that
Which
is,
is
we're gonna do
never.
it. Exactly. My point. Ugh.
All Schwartz is magic. It's just magical,
I
Mhm.
Well, I remember when I was a
Merchandising.
kid, when I first saw the Star Destroyers, I thought they were like the coolest thing ever, and what could possibly top that? Well,
Yeah.
then the Executioner class, and I was like, ah.
Yeah.
That's it. I'm on the Empire side.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
It. I'm in. I'm in.
Big enough to have a dry dock for regular Star Destroyers on the
Right,
bottom.
And they got the coolest uniforms.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Darth Vader's a badass. And
Yeah.
they're-
What
they're
about
talking
those one
they don't talk about
helmets
their
that go like
feelings.
all the way down their back and they're like super exaggerated? What?
Hey, Lance is here. Hey, Lance.
Hey, Lance.
Hey, Lance, what's going on, man? Good to see you.
What's up with those helmets? I never understood them.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I built the model. Nerd.
I built the Lego regular Star Destroyer. I never built a Super Star Destroyer. It would fill my entire house if it was to scale.
Well, right.
There
You
were
don't have enough
blocks.
manpower for that either.
Yeah. Although
Yeah.
the very first thing I did with the woman who would later become my wife was we built a droideca from Legos from the original, like the Star Wars prequels.
I
I
am
thought
so jealous.
you were gonna say you gave her the Lego test, and I was gonna go, what? You made her walk on Legos so she could handle it, so you'd keep her?
No, we waited until parenthood for that.
Note to self: if you start that off right away, it should be better. Okay.
Right.
Darling, I would walk on hot
already know
coal
I'm
for
gonna
you.
fill
That
that
is
test
nothing.
out. That's
I
why
want
we
the
don't own
Lego
Legos.
test.
Legos.
I would walk on Legos for you.
And not Blockos. No, Legos.
No, Legos. They have
Right?
to be
Not,
Legos.
yeah. Straight Legos. I will walk on them for you.
And not hot, because then they'll get kind of pliable. Maybe even
Pliable.
freeze them.
Yeah.
Ow!
They might shatter and become jagged if they're frozen.
Oh, ow! My mind is giving out.
Like
Yeah.
It's like
walking
that
on
scene
Lego
from Die Hard.
glass
you know?
Legos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Power.
Or was it a tank girl?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, tank girl. Yeah. Wow, that
Oh
kind
my
of
God.
derailed us.
No, I love the Super Star Destroyer. I think it
Yeah.
is probably the coolest thing about Return of the Jedi. And I like Return of the Jedi, no matter
Mhm.
what Thrash has to say about Ewoks.
What are you talking about?
Wasn't-
Those are the devil, apparently.
Didn't it
But
make
it brought the whole mood down. I'm like, I can't take this seriously. They're teddy bears.
Wasn't it also shown in
They have
Empire?
spears.
Oh yeah, you did
Yeah.
see it in Empire. Like,
Yeah,
that's
it
when
was like it made a
debuted.
cameo in there kind of
Yeah.
thing, you know.
Yeah, it does. Now that you mention
Yeah.
it. Well, Empire's my favorite, and I
Yeah.
think.
Well,
it's
yeah, I
most
mean that's
people's
because that
favorite.
is objectively the correct answer. Yes.
Mhm. Yeah. But what also kills me is like how big that ship is, and then you show it crashing into the,
To the Death Star. Yeah.
and how small compared to the Death Star. You can barely see the curvature of the Death Star as it's plunging in. It's like, dang, that's a big space station right there.
As a kid, I was so confused because, I mean, you call these things Star Destroyers, so
Mhm.
theoretically they could destroy a star, right? But the Death Star, the big deal is it can destroy a
Blow a
planet?
planet.
That's stupid.
Listen, they have to downgrade something. You know, I mean,
Well, and like you look at the size comparison, it's like, why is this a planet destroyer, but this one's a star destroyer?
Star Destroyer,
Like,
right.
Because it's a
Like-
starship, it's a destroyer in the stars. you know.
Exactly. It's
That's
two words.
It's just the
really-
name. It doesn't. It
Yeah,
can't
yeah, it's just
actually
the name.
blow up a star. Although,
Really, a star
if you really want to get to
Destroyer-
physics, it would probably be easier to blow up a star than it would be to blow up a planet.
possibly.
granted,
Yeah.
But
But,
it's like they say in Rick and Morty, you can't just make something sci-fi by putting a space word in front of it. Now
Right.
hand me the space
yeah, you
laser.
can. That's how they do it
Yeah.
now.
Well, that's
They did in
Right.
Star Wars.
Yeah,
Put
nowadays
stars in
it's
front of
the
everything.
word quantum can do anything. You know, you can
Right,
put that in front of
yes.
anything.
I
Well,
quantum
the
my
Millennium
flop.
Falcon, 1,000-year raptor. What does that have to do with anything? You know, but
Other than being awesome.
yeah, it's a really cool sounding word, but it doesn't mean anything.
No, even a
It's just
1,000-year-old
futuristic
Falcon
stuff,
is
you know.
awesome.
Yeah.
come on, a
Everything in-
Methuselah Falcon? That is
Come on.
terrifying.
Everything in Star Wars has star in front of it. You got a star drive for your star destroyer, you know.
And poor Luke, all he can
Star
do is walk
Wars.
on the sky.
Yeah.
Right.
Once, as you guys get to, I actually get to speak to James Doohan once.
Mhm.
And
Really?
he actually, yes.
Cool.
Amazing man.
That
But one
explains why
thing-
he's dead.
well, this was before he was dead.
Oh, that's what she said.
I should have qualified that. But one of the things he talked about is that when things are mundane, like for example, like take the lightsaber for example, they wouldn't call it a lightsaber. They would have had a word for it. It would have been called the pondo or something
Mhm.
like that. It would just be
Pondo.
a thing. You know,
Yeah.
it's only a lightsaber because you're taking the old style sabers and making one out of light. But they would have actually created a word for it. Because that's what people do. They would have had eventually, when things enter the vernacular, they have their own nickname for them, and those
Mhm.
actually become the standard. So they wouldn't have called them Star Destroyers; they would have called them Raptors or something. Something that have had a cool name.
Birds
for
of
them.
prey.
Say, you know.
I mean, executor class is still
Well-
pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's probably the
CEO
coolest
class.
thing they
Yeah.
say.
Or executor,
Executor
executor.
is even
Either
cooler.
way you can pronounce it. Yeah.
Jiller.
Executor.
Jiller
Actually,
class.
like you would probably
Security guard
eventually
class.
like get things like the Kleenex, right, or whatever. Like, because I'm gonna go grab my Kleenex now or something. Whatever, company made
Whatever
it,
brand it is.
right,
Yeah.
is gonna be what it is, right?
I need
Like,
a Band-Aid.
I need a Q-tip, not a
Yeah.
cotton swab. I need a
Swab, I
Q-tip,
need a
right?
Q-tip.
Exactly. I need a Band-Aid, right? Yeah.
Or is it,
And
what do they
so-
call Band-Aids in Britain? Isn't it like pasties or something like that? I can't remember.
Never
It
mind.
is something like that.
Yeah.
I don't think it is pasties, but it's something.
It is
close
something
to
like that. I gotta ask some of my British friends, like they would know that. But yeah, like something like that. I'm sure, I'm sure Indy would be able to let us know.
Yeah.
But
Indy, what's it called?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I used to laugh at my mother because she referred to those things you get a drink from in public places as a water fountain. And I'm like, ooh, the water fountain, the water fountain. She's like, well, what do you call it? And I go, the bubbler.
Oh, they're
I was
called
like, oh,
plasters.
that's much less.
Plasters in
Plasters,
Britain.
that's right. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Plasters.
Oh, plastic.
I was-
Pasties,
Pasties are what
plaster, or
strippers
whatever.
wear.
Yeah, whatever.
See, as somebody who knows all these things, I'm trying to make
Yep.
sure I come back.
These are what-
I really am. Nice to make it easy.
Mhm. Oh, did you know on the executor class Star Dreadnoughts, they could be equipped with cloaking devices.
Oh, really?
No.
Yeah. No, we never
I didn't
saw
know
that in the
cloaking
movies.
was a thing in Star Wars.
Well, remember
Yes.
that? Remember
Yes, it was.
when they
They
lose
used-
the Millennium Falcon
The
in
Falcon, they
Empire?
say that.
They say
Yeah.
no ship that size has a cloaking
Has a
device.
cloaking
Ah,
device, yeah.
good
Yeah.
point. Yeah, I
Yeah.
never thought of that.
I
So
don't
they
Star Wars
do
I know that.
acknowledge that there's cloaking in Star Wars.
Look,
They
I
just-
freely admit I am not the Star Wars expert in my family. My oldest brother's.
And yet you
Yeah.
start off with the Millennium Falcon.
I did.
I feel like that's somehow disingenuous.
I look. If you make me
It's
pick
the
between
Millennium
Star Trek
Falcon.
and Star Wars, I pick Star Trek. But like, I know Star Wars.
There, see? Even
Well-
I had to go, well, okay, but I'm going to bring Babylon 5 into it first.
It's the aluminum bird of prey. It's
Aluminum bird of prey.
Right?
What's an aluminum falcon? Yeah, they might have called them Coruscants or something because that's where the
Coruscants,
the
yeah.
troopers are.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're so unsweet.
Wasn't it made by the Corellian Drive Yards or something like that? I can't remember. Yeah.
Ooh, maybe.
I
The
think
Crayon
so.
Drive
Or
Yards?
it's a
What?
KDY freighter if I remember correctly, but I can't remember
Oh.
Isn't that a
it's
form of
not
jelly?
Corellian. But anyway, huh?
Okay,
KDY, isn't that a
I got to
form of
get my
jelly?
brother in the chat to answer these questions.
That's KY. KY.
Okay.
Okay, why?
Ooh, slip space.
Slip sliding away.
Now I have to-
That's why it was so fast. That's why it could travel
Nice,
links
Joey.
so
because they
It
were
could
lubing that
travel
thing up.
time
Yeah.
so
They
lengthfully.
can go to Plaid.
Oh, it is Corellian, and it's a YT series freighter. That's what it is. I forgot about
So
that.
it's leather.
Corellian leather. What?
Right, yeah,
Rich Corellian leather.
leather.
Smiles, everyone, smiles. And I've frozen again.
Interesting space to freeze on.
Yeah, that's yeah.
it's a good one.
You look slightly disappointed, a little bit surprised,
He looks like Tim
dumbfounded even.
big pointy teeth, you know.
Mhm.
Oh, that's him.
Oh,
from
yeah.
Holy Grail,
Yeah, he looks like
Oh,
him. They
Some call me Tim.
Tim?
Yes.
I'm warning you. Fierce teeth and
It's no ordinary rabbit.
you get. I nearly sold my honor. Warning you.
Big pointy teeth.
The random fireballs.
Yeah, I love that. Well, we see. I see you're
Indiscriminate.
busy, but
Yeah.
He is
No,
taking on the
that's-
role of Yamato, just blowing stuff up.
The castle. Oh, he must have died while writing it. He wouldn't bother to write out "og."
and
Perhaps
here
it was
we are
dictating.
talking about a show that has nothing to do with anything.
Right.
Yeah, I'm
right.
pretty
Sci-fi
sure there's no
spaceship.
spaceships in Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
I don't think
Sounds
any
like
other
Tim.
movies.
What's this to do with that?
There are some police though.
That's true.
Yes, yes, there
Good.
are.
Yeah.
Oh.
There you are.
There you
It's
go.
full circle.
Okay.
now.
Anyway,
That's
I
how
guess
it
I guess we'll move on.
Right.
No.
Yes.
I'm gonna bring up one that only exists in literature so far, and that is Rama from A Rendezvous with Rama. This is, I think, the coolest, most alien spaceship ever conceived in fiction. It's a giant cylinder in space, and it's jet black, so that it can retain all of its energy, right? So you can barely see. It's kind of like Star Trek 4, the probe from
The
Star
probe,
Trek 4.
yeah. The whale probe.
It's very much inspired by Rama. But inside of Rama is this whole ecosystem that and it's very detailed. Arthur C. Clarke goes into immense detail as to how it works, how the gravity works, because it's spinning, it's doing the centripetal force thing, but in the center there's no gravity. And the Coriolis effect and all this other stuff. Arthur C. Clarke, detail-oriented guy, right? The whole ship is rocketing towards our solar system, and as it's getting closer and closer to our sun, it's starting to warm up, it's starting to absorb radiation, and so like it's got this ring of ice around the center on the inside, because like the ecosystem is on the inside, and on the interior surface, and it starts to crack and melt and form like a river that goes all the way around. And spoiler alert for the end of the first Rendezvous with Rama, the ship just slingshots around the sun and keeps going. Like, it has absolutely no interest in us. It doesn't care about us. It doesn't care about our solar system. It's going somewhere else. It's just using our sun for speed.
Or gravity assist, yeah.
Yeah, and it's got these little like organic robots that kind of start to appear as the ship warms up and stuff. It's got all these little fail safes and all these like really, really cool detail oriented things, but it's so alien and you don't really understand what it is, what its purpose is, and the big reveal at the end is we just don't know and we're not going to know. Which I love that book so much. I think Rama is really, really interesting. They've been trying to make a movie out of it for decades now. Yeah, I don't know if they're ever going to do it.
I'm afraid if they do, it'll be terrible.
Probably, yeah.
And then the next time you'll be here, be like, and I waited my whole life for this.
Right.
And it was
I think it depends on I think they could do
depends
it
on who
well,
does
and
it.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah,
Christopher Nolan used the idea of Rama in Interstellar when you see the colony ship at the end of the movie.
Mhm.
Like, it's very similar looking to Rama. It's also the inspiration behind Halo. The Halo is like a slice of Rama.
oh right.
And
yeah.
the big colony ship from what's that show that was just on The Expanse.
I never actually saw The Expanse.
Oh, you
Yeah, I
haven't
haven't
seen The
seen it.
Expanse?
No, my
I'm
wife
supposed
loves
to
it.
see
It's the
No, I
what
haven't.
is it,
I know there's a whole list.
Nauvoo or something like that. It's a big colony ship that's going to another, or was supposed to go to another solar system, and it's got cylindrical, everything rotates around the middle, and it's got like a light source in the middle. It's kind of cool, but same
Neat.
idea.
Same idea, yeah. And like
Yeah.
I said, Star Trek 4.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's all I got. Does anybody else have anything to say about Rama?
I haven't
Never
read
heard
since
of
I was in high school. Isn't one of the things is we have an incredibly short window to get information about it because we only have they have to be able to go to the ship and then get back to Earth. So it's really while it's rocketing around the sun.
Yeah, it's moving really, really fast, and the only
So-
ship that's able to get to it in time is basically just like it's a survey ship. It's just it's kind of that truckers in space idea. Like, these are just like blue collar workers who have to like go and check out this alien vessel before it leaves. Yeah, and they think it's heading towards the sun. They think it's gonna like collide with the sun and do something like blow up our solar system. They have no idea what its purpose is. So yeah, it's just this team of blue collar nobodies who have to go check it out.
It's an amazing ship, and it is, and it's so. The fact that you don't get a lot of satisfying answers makes it that much more tantalizing, I think. You know what I'm saying?
No, I agree. And some of the sequels that were written by Gentry Lee and not by Arthur C. Clarke try to go into detail and explain like facets of it and what its purpose is, and it's not satisfying at all. It's actually kind of terrible. But the original Rendezvous with Rama, fantastic. That's all.
Awesome. If I ever read, I'll check into something.
There's also a cool scene where they have to get to the engines, but the engines are, of course, on the opposite end of the cylinder. And so what they do is they have this like this low gravity flyer, this kind of like bicycle in space, that they use to like travel down the center of the ship where there is no gravity, but he's got to be very careful so as not to slip too far in any direction. It's
Because
I
there's
don't know.
gravity and
It's very cool. Anyway, that's all.
Interesting.
very.
Okay, Sarah,
Well,
it's your turn.
Technically,
Oh, wait.
if he was, if it was a spinning cylinder, it wouldn't matter where you are in the space. You're not in gravity unless you're standing on the surface in the centrifugal force. If you're floating above the surface, it doesn't matter if you're off to one side or the other.
Well, that's actually not entirely true. Like Arthur C. Clarke explains it in the book, and like I've had like discussions with like a science professor, like because I remember I talked about Rendezvous with Rama.
Gosh, you're such a nerd.
I am. I'm a big nerd, and like the atmosphere that would be inside it would also be
I'm
affected,
surprised.
and
It would be
like
spinning with the ground,
and
yeah.
it would start to spin with the ground, and there would be that kind
There'd
of
be
an
air
effect.
resistance, yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd try to bring you along with it. Gotcha. Okay.
Again, it would be kind of like a faux gravity. It'd be like Coriolis gravity or something. I don't know. I don't remember what he called it. But yeah. So there's that. I don't know.
All right. Well, you know, because you know, my first one was so in depth. You know, the movie, geez, now I just suddenly forgot it. Oh my, Galaxy Quest.
Ah,
Right?
yes.
So, that ship was designed because the TV show said so.
Oh,
And then they put in the Virilium Spear. They put in that stupid walkway of death.
Why
and then
is this here?
these pendulums of death, and I'm like, yeah, why were they there? The chompers, I mean, like,
Because they were in the show.
right. So again, when did the chomper? Did they power the showers? Why do we have these chompers? Anyway, so I always thought that was a very amazing design idea for show to begin or movie to begin with, but then also they made this cluster of writing into an actual moving ship of reality, right? And how?
I wanted there to be a scene where like somebody has to go to the bathroom, but there's no bathrooms on board because they never show a bathroom on the show.
Right. See, I was gonna hope something like that too, but no, we got by Thor's hammer.
See, they just teleported out of your body. You just be like,
Yeah,
hey,
there
Scotty,
you go.
beam it out.
Wait, they digitized it? They digitized it, did they? And exploded.
They beam it out into
sorry,
space.
got a little bit of the colon. My apologies.
Oh.
Anyway, so yeah.
Talk about a transporter accident right there.
Like termites or something. But anyways, but yeah, I always thought that was pretty amazing because then also not only does it do it, but it you know it separates and all that stuff, right? And, I mean, amazing ship. Honestly, it was poorly written,
beautiful.
so then they made it into a real ship, chompers and all.
No, the fact that they were able to like lampoon the weirdness of Star Trek by basically saying this is a fictional ship that's been made real, and it has all the quirks of a fictional ship. I think that's really clever, and it's like super clever satire.
Brilliant.
The whole
It's
movie is
freaking
built on
brilliant.
that premise.
Yes,
you know?
it's
Yeah.
brilliant, right? You know, and the thing of it is too, it's like yeah, the whole thing is just so unbelievable because not only was it poor writing, you know, it's like
But I mean,
you know,
that's how you satirize something. Like
right, exactly.
the fans of Galaxy Quest tend to be Trekkies. You know, Trekkies
Right.
tend to love Galaxy Quest. I think it is one of the
Exactly.
greatest movies ever.
Exactly, it is crack. It is true, but
It's better than a lot of Star Trek movies.
right? Like I was gonna name them all, but I don't have to. But it's better than Picard. Oh my gosh.
No.
Anyways, now that just turned into Doctor Who. I have a MacGuffin of the sonic screwdriver that fixes every engineering problem. Oh, wait, do we have engineering? As long as you have the one magic tool.
Oh, incidentally, it's called the NSEA Protector, I think,
Yes.
in Galaxy Quest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I just think that's just a brilliant choice, right? I mean, also her one job is to talk to the computer, but they made sure that was a function too.
I have one job on this ship, and I'm gonna do it. Damn it!
Right? It's just repeating everything. If she's dead, they can't make communication. Who's next in line? Seems like a very poor design. But then they have the chompers. So, like I said, is that part of the shower? I don't know. But anyway,
that reminded me. This is totally irrelevant, but I had to bring it up. When I was working for the hotel years ago, it was late night. There was some domestic argument or something. I had to call the cops. I'm on the phone with the 911 operator, and the cop who was driving down the street apparently actually shows up while I'm still on the phone with the 911 operator. And I'm like, oh, great, the officer's here. I can tell him directly. She's like, no, you're going to finish talking to me. And I'm like, okay. And the cop's standing in front of me, and I had to go, well, I finished telling her what I'm going to tell him. And I'm like, okay. And she's like grilling me for information. When I'm like, so she can put it in a report. And I finally get her off the phone, and I go, yes, officer, you see. And then I hear her come over the phone. Yes, officer, blah, blah, blah. This is dispatch. Here's the situation. And I sit there like an idiot, like a moron, having her now tell the officer the exact same thing I just said in front of him. And I'm like, and he's just kind of like, and I'm like,
that's amazing.
It's like, no, ma'am, you don't understand. He's standing right in front of me.
You hush your mouth. I have one job. I have one job, and I am
pretty much what she
going
was
to
doing.
do it.
She's like, I'm the dispatcher. I must know everything so I can pass it on. You know, but
It's like,
brilliant.
you don't need to pass it on. There's a woman dying on the other side of the hotel, and we have to go through this farce. You know? Are we doing a bit?
Feels like a
bit. Who's on first?
anyway.
The woman being pushed out the window.
Okay, Harold, it's your turn. What do you got?
All right. I am going to go with an iconic ship, the Eagle 5 from Spaceballs.
Eagle 5!
Yeah.
That's on my list.
Lone Star and Bars.
I think that was on everybody's list.
Yeah.
Winnebago ship.
I didn't know we were supposed to make a list. I'll work on that.
It's one of the great, like, just a flying Winnebago.
It
Like,
is
is one of the just most hilarious things I've ever seen. Because it's, you don't like it, like when you talk about like you don't expect this, right? Like you're looking for a ship and wait, it's a Winnebago, but it fits them so well. It's almost like I feel like if Spaceballs didn't do it, that should have been the ship that the two stoners in Heavy Metal like were flying. Like that
Good
should have been
night,
their
Lord,
ship,
man.
right? Like it's just, and it just, it's so perfect. It's so.
Wasn't John Candy one of the voices in that too, by the way?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
Yeah, John. Yeah, and so, oh yeah. That's right. Yeah.
And
so
Harold
it-
Ramis
like,
was the other
What
one.
was the other one?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just absolutely great and wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of the best ships, one of the best like everything. It's great. So
It's a Winnebago with wings and secret
Yeah.
hyperjets
In
One
space.
in space.
In space. Yeah.
Space
And
Bago.
shameless self-promotion. I've done videos on both Spaceballs and what was the other thing we talked about a second ago? Oh, Heavy Metal.
Oh,
Yeah.
Heavy Metal. Sorry,
Pray to
family.
God.
Dog.
Pray to God.
family wanted to give puppy time, so viewer
Oh.
rating puppies.
Hi, puppy. Hi, puppy. Oh, and by the way, just a little tiny synchronicity, another synchronicity here. Harold, not oh god. One of the guys from Bob and Doug McKenzie was in Spaceballs, of course. Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis.
Rick
Right.
Moranis. Rick Moranis. Rick
That
Moranis,
guy.
of course. In Strange Brew, the
Gatekeeper.
movie within the movie is Mutants of the Ice Waste, and the spaceship is just their van on a pulley system.
That's right. Yeah.
So they're basically borrowing from another Rick Moranis movie in Spaceballs. Of course, that's Mel Brooks. He borrows from everyone.
Yes, of course.
Frozen.
You're frozen again. Yep. This time you're going like
Oh.
you.
All right, I'm gonna come out one last time. I'll be right.
You're just gonna try again. Okay.
I love this.
I want to get like an image of all these and just like make a like
Collage.
Collage
you
of
know,
all.
a short of like going from all of his different phrases, like the many faces of
Pawns, right? Yeah.
thrash. Yeah. And so would be
It
great.
looked great. Right.
Well, it was his turn, but
Yeah. Do you want to, Damien?
I guess
Damien,
I'll
do you
jump
want to
ahead.
go and then we can come back?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with probably
Oh,
my.
he's back.
Oh, wait, there he is.
do you want your turn, Thrash?
Hi, Pawns.
Oh, hello. No, Damien, you were up. You
Okay.
go. please.
All right. I'm gonna go with one of my favorite starfighters of all times. Even more so than like the X-wing and all that kind of stuff. But the Gunstar 1 from Last Starfighter.
Somebody just mentioned it.
Oh,
Yes.
yes.
That is one of my
Great
favorite
one.
of all time. It just looks
Oh, yeah.
it just looks so cool. You know, I mean, you got this.
I love
It's
the
got this-
spinny thing.
You know, the little cockpit up front, and then the big, you know, rear end with the guns on it and the thrusters and everything, and then it's got the, you know, the
Death Blossom.
Yeah, the Death
Yeah,
Blossom.
Death
That's it.
Blossom.
The
Yeah,
Death
I love
Blossom,
that.
along with all of its normal weapons of missiles and blasters and so on and so forth, and just
Talk
you know,
about a
it's just-
last ditch effort. What weapon?
and then your battery's drained and you got to sit there for 10 minutes or whatever.
Right.
I love
yeah,
that it's like a
busy.
fighter cockpit where you've got
Yeah.
like the
Mhm.
front fighter and the back fighter, and it
Mhm.
spins on like this
Yeah.
gyrosphere.
Yeah,
That
it's
is
a
so
little
unique. You
and
know,
you spin around and you can actually like shoot the enemies that are behind you or in
Yeah,
front of you
yeah.
or wherever they are
I
because
love
it
that.
shoots
very
out of all
arcade.
sides.
It's very
You know,
arcade. I love it, dude.
yeah,
I was like, "Where is this at Dave and Buster's? Everybody, I need this."
yeah,
Give me
exactly.
that Death
Yeah.
Blossom at the end too, please.
Yeah.
I want to be able to go. I can't right now.
Mhm.
I've also
But yeah,
done a
it's
video
just-
on the Last Starfighter, by the way.
It's cool because it's also slightly
doubt.
like it's like what a true fighter might be in space because you're not just like flying at things through the air in the atmosphere.
Right.
You should be able to shoot in all directions at all times, you know, because
Right,
things are going to
yeah.
come at you from 360 degrees in all directions, you know.
It's like I was
So-
saying about like the shadow vessels, right? Like they
Mhm.
got the weapons out front there, but they could turn on a dime, right?
Mhm.
They got the maneuverability in the atmosphere and in space, right?
Mhm.
Very formidable, right? And they look menacing too.
Yeah.
You have that ship, and they can do all that. Death Blossom, yeah, it's scary. Dude. I mean, that's some crazy stuff.
Mhm.
That's how I used to play Descent back in the day. Just fire everything, move in every direction.
Sometimes Death Blossom is the answer.
Mhm.
Who knew? But
But
yeah,
yeah, just and that and it was like, you know, one of the first you know, CGI you know, heavy CGI movies, you know, and
Absolutely,
it
yeah.
looked for the time it looked really good. You
It was
know?
pretty
I mean,
dang cool.
I
yeah.
think it
Yeah.
still holds up. I think it
Yeah.
still holds up too.
It still looks pretty good today, you know. It's definitely better than the graphics you saw in like Tron and, you know, other movies that were trying to do some CGI back then. It was just like, you know, they really did a good job on that. At least
And
on that one thing.
The car almost looks like a Cybertruck.
Yeah, it
Well,
kind of does. Yeah.
I think that was brilliant too, because see, when I was a kid and I watched that, right, I was a big fan of Transformers, right? So, when the car could transform like that, I was like, that is so awesome. You could make it like real life stuff, right? I'm like, right? Practical effects on that stuff was brilliant too. And I'm like, I miss practical effects. Do that again. I miss that. Just saying.
I also like that the bad guys in that, when they attack bases, they don't attack them with missiles or with laser weapons. They use meteors, which, that's something you see in science fiction and literature all the time. You don't
Right.
see it in movies or TV ever.
It's a kinetic weapon. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And the
There's
thing
no
is,
need for
they're
bombs.
everywhere.
You just throw a big enough rock at something.
exactly.
Right. I mean, there's movies about that,
Mhm.
where the big things coming at Earth and then they have to go sing songs and blow it up. It's crazy.
Mhm.
Or send up, Ben Affleck and Bruce
Right, and
Willis.
sing
Yeah.
songs,
Mhm.
Yeah.
pose.
Just be careful of that
Duct tape.
space madness.
Yeah, duct tape is the answer. Look, guys, I
He's
had
got
to pay
space
mom back money.
Space madness. Sorry, I was Ren and Stimpy.
It's got space dementia or whatever they call it.
Right, yeah. I think, that's a great movie.
The
Anyway.
jolly candy-like button.
But no, the Gunstar was definitely on my list as well.
Mm.
The design of it just looks cool. There's no other there's nothing else to say other than it's cool looking. I mean, it's got wings, but they're not really wings. They're just missile banks, you know, like
They're just pylons to hold on to the thruster
Right.
banks and the missiles and all of that stuff. It's
way more practical and interesting
yeah.
than even the X-wing, which is iconic, of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we got time for one more.
One more
Thrash,
there,
what do you
Thrash.
got?
You guys won't be a bit surprised by this. I'm going to go with the Martian capital ships from the original War of the Worlds.
Of course,
Ah.
yes.
From the moment I saw those when I was a kid, I thought they were the coolest thing. They're so futuristic with that stainless steel manta design,
Yep.
and yet the ocular. There's something really like it doesn't move like something robotic. It has this very sort of menacing, lifelike feel to it. That very
It's
sort
like
of
a cobra. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it feels like a cyborg, and it looks cool, and it fires not only the burning laser from the ocular, but it has the sort of like I guess they're photon blobs that it just fires out of the side, and it just the whole thing works on so many levels. And even when they crash, they just sort of like list to the side, and they even died dramatically. The whole thing just worked on so many levels, and it was so innovative because prior to that, it was pretty much rockets and flying saucers.
Yeah, that was it. That's all
Nothing
you had.
that
Yeah.
cool.
No, and like you said, there's something like organic about him, something almost like that hits your lizard brain, you know, like it makes you think it's not a machine, that this is a living thing. And that gives it so much more power. And of course, the special effects add a lot to that too.
Well, and when you look at it, like first off, you've got the big green light in the beginning, like in front, which looks like an eye, right? And then, like you said, that top part looks almost cobra or scorpion-esque, right? And so it looks it like to me, I think those are some of the things that feed that we already know that this is a dangerous thing because
all
of
of
the
our
way
threat
that it
buttons. Yeah.
exactly right,
Yes.
that it looks dangerous. It looks like I pulled up the image, and just looking at it as Thrash was talking about it just gave me the creeps, right? Because it just it does. There's something ominous about, as simple as it is, there's something ominous about the look. Like it looks almost that top part looks almost proby, right? Like it's gonna like come into us or something like that. It's
My 12-year-old boy in me is just screaming right now.
Leave it to Harold to say something like that. Yes.
oh yeah, so many jokes, right? But no, it just, but it does. It has this like danger kind of feel to it. Like it's like you know, it just
Oh, it's dangerous, all right.
it's unsettling. So yeah.
And like Thrash was saying, that was innovative for the
Hits
time.
you deep. It
was-
hits you really
Very.
deep.
You know, even when you
seriously,
even when you saw Martians, they were like robotic. They weren't like they weren't so organic. I guess is the only word I can come up with. You know,
To me, they always look like
elegant.
a manta ray or a stingray with a cobra on it. You know,
It was
like
the guy who designed it. It was based on a manta ray and a swan, actually.
well,
Yeah.
to me it looks more like a cobra head because it kind
But
of
it does look like
flattens out
cobra
a
because of the
bit.
flattened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is dangerous and all. So,
Sorry.
Yes, a swan isn't menacing, but that
swan's not-
ocular.
Although I don't know, I've been around swans, and yeah, they can
they're
be
pretty menacing.
mean.
As a
But they
bird,
don't look menacing.
But yeah, you
They
don't think
look,
that they're menacing.
They're
yeah.
ornery.
you know, they're not like a tarantula, which again, lizard brain.
And
Whereas
if they were
that-
Canadian geese, that's a whole
Oh.
other story.
If the Martians from War of the Worlds were to run into a flock of Canadian geese, the war would have been over.
Yeah,
right
the
there.
geese would have won
They would have been
instantly.
just like, "We're leaving." Those things have teeth.
geese take down jumbo jets, man. Watch out. They take
Yeah.
out fighters.
Well-
Us birds are crazy.
As Germany was invading Russia, they literally had to stop their and call a truce so they could that were killing off their people. And so no, that would not be the first time that we would have to stop for the wildlife that was attacking us. And Canadian geese, they come down to us too. We get them all the time, and they will just like look at you as they're trying to cross the road. Like, no, I'm going over there, and your car is going to stop. I swear to God.
But I mean,
Right,
come on,
they
that wouldn't be
spread the
very
news.
satisfying, would it? If like the enemy was defeated by something that wasn't humans, right?
Right,
Actually,
right.
it would be the funniest thing ever. I would be like, and I got memed all day long for this. That'd be great.
Oh, what was that John Candy movie where Canada goes to war with America or whatever?
Canadian bacon.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, that's what they should have been. Like, we're going to war and we're sending down our geese. That's how. Like, that's.
And then there would have been a goose on everybody's dinner table. Fine.
Hey, talk to Australia. They had a war with emu and
Yes,
Oh
lost.
yes,
exactly.
that's right.
And they lost.
Yes, and they lost.
And they
Yes.
lost.
They shot more ammunition than they had birds.
That's so great.
Brilliant. And that's why we don't drink Fosters, everybody. It's not good.
That's right.
You go to war with birds. Don't do it.
And jackrabbits.
I have Australian friends. They do not claim Fosters as their own.
No.
Right, because it's what caused them to lose the war against the birds. I swear. Look it up. I swear, 100%.
Oh, it's no, that whole thing. There's videos on it. It's wonderful.
It's insane. I love
Yeah,
it. It's
yeah,
so
yeah,
great.
No, hey, after the dodo, they were like, birds were like, we're done with this. We're done with this, and we're not putting up with these humans. And
Right?
The birds
day-
too.
Right.
Yeah.
The other
Right.
day,
The
there,
birds.
I was driving and a road went around in front of my car, and I'm like, I'm going this way, so I turned off, and it was still going straight running, and I'm like, you can still fly. You are a bird.
Did you hit the coyote that was chasing it?
No, I've been hit by a coyote. I was out walking in my neighbor or one of my friend's house one time, right? And so the night before, I almost stepped on a bunch of tarantulas because they all started hatching. So I went on the upper path. I like them. Now I went on the upper path, and right in front of me, two coyotes right in front of me. So I stopped because I almost hit them. So then, as I stopped, and a third coyote came and ran into my leg, nearly knocking me down. And I'm like, okay, I just got hit by a coyote. I'm getting in the house before I die. And that's Marietta, everybody.
and she's never left the house since.
Right? That's why I'm a tarantula now. Anyways,
One
yeah.
life has lost their fear of humanity. It was our as we expanded too far.
Also, I had a tarantula in my yard one time in the house in Temecula, and I picked it up and I kept it as a pet.
I am glad I live nowhere near you.
Yeah.
Nothing against you.
Look, I've had everything but a dog. Okay, so I've had snakes, lizards, frogs.
None of that bothers me.
Wasps.
It's the tarantula.
But then he died, so I gave it to my cousin for his report in science, whatever. Anyways, he ended up getting an A. So then I got a Star Trek calendar, so it all worked out.
She also didn't mention the small pygmy man that she had as a pet. So, like,
he's still here.
Yeah.
Do you want to meet him?
for some reason, he always snaps his fingers and talks backwards. But great guy, great guy.
Oh no, that's Walter. He's the demon to the. You know what? Never mind about it's in here.
What was that Burt Reynolds movie where they find what they think of the missing link, and it becomes a whole brouhaha about what the rights of these people would be, like would they be considered people or not? What was the name of that movie?
I don't know, man. That's different.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. My understanding is it somehow it got itself banned, and I'm not sure how. But-
Maybe.
But
Is it
yeah,
skullduggery?
And it's Harold for the win. Yes, skullduggery. Yes.
I had to look it up. I was
Yes.
like, I have no idea what you're talking about.
I would love to know what your search history looks like. It's just out of curiosity.
So would the FBI. Ooh. I'm sorry.
Just
Harold
don't look
was
at his
joking.
taxes.
Right.
Jesus.
Put a bump.
I myself love the government. Hi, big brother.
Oh, okay. I'm posting this in everybody's channels. I found the link for the movie that you can watch it for free on YouTube.
No
So-
shit.
Nice.
Yes.
I've got no stuff.
Yes.
Family show.
No,
It's
it's
already
stunning.
happened.
It's
It's fine.
stunning. It's absolutely stunning that I was able to find this. I cannot believe that I did. But one, like, I was like, oh my god. So
I doffed my
like,
cap.
I know what I'm doing today. I have discovered what I am doing today.
Right?
It is-
Last week I had to drop the link. Crazy.
There.
Yeah,
I
it's
put it
a
in
dark
both.
comedy. It's a dark comedy,
Thanks.
but it's amazing. It's a
Here,
weird
type
one.
that into your browser. There you go. Yeah.
I'm afraid.
I put it in
I'll do it later.
my flux. I
Yeah,
put it in
you
my
did,
flux
thank
and
you.
I put it in
Mhm.
tugs. Yeah, so
Yes. Or as I call him, geek. Because I feel odd tugging on a man that's married.
I know.
They used to show it in like the
Tugging on a
70s. They
married
would
man.
show it in like those Saturday matinee shows. And then I read somewhere it got itself banned, and I can't remember what the issue was. There was some problem with it, and it like fell off the face of the earth. But I'm glad it's on YouTube.
I've brought it up
Yeah.
at least once on my channel, and I can't for the life of me remember why. So, so I know
It probably
of
had something to do
them.
with me, to be honest with you.
Maybe.
In the same way, half the time I give you facts, they're ones that you had given me.
Yeah, exactly. Like we
2
just give them
years
back and
ago.
forth. Yeah.
Yeah, Bob, I'm the one who told you that. Oh, thank you.
Crash, I sent it to you through Messenger. Also, I sent you the link in Messenger. So if you wanted
Dude,
to
you
ever
gotta
post
email
that,
to him. It's not good enough to send to his links. You just gotta you gotta email to him.
no, I'm sending it. Oh wait, I'm gonna send it to my flock. I'm gonna send it to you too.
Thanks,
I'll probably
thank
go on
you.
YouTube and type in skullduggery, and it will come up.
Yeah, exactly.
Skullduggery.
Yeah.
There's something
Anyway,
right
That way, I'm giving you all the links so that way, if you guys ever want to go watch it and like give it to people, or if you want to like post it or something like that, that way you guys can do whatever you want, and then people.
And to our Jamaican friends out there, Wagwan links.
What did you say?
Wagwan links in Jamaican slang. Links means like cousin, and Wagwan is like saying what's going on. So Wagwan links. It's like saying what's going on, cousin.
I've been to
Gotcha,
Jamaica
gotcha.
twice, but I don't remember a dang thing. So
Well, because you're white, they wouldn't talk to you.
He was impaired. He was impaired.
Yeah, he's probably a little bit.
He's like, I'm unapologetic about it too, guys.
I'm not sorry. Yeah.
I'm a
Steve
weirdo
Martin
from
the jerk.
America. That's
You
me,
mean I'm always going to be this color?
right?
You're right.
What are you talking about?
I grew up
I love
son of a
Poor black.
of a black man, poor black family. Yeah, it's like-
You must have been
So
searching
great.
for ages. No, this is the first place we looked.
Anyway, we've passed the hour and a
That's
half
a
mark,
great
so
movie.
we're gonna wrap it up here. But next week
All
we
right,
will
yeah,
continue.
close
I
the
think
line.
this I think this topic has
At least.
lots of yeah.
Yeah.
I think
I gotta
maybe
get on that list.
At least next week.
just maybe what we'll do is we'll just like have a different topic every month instead of like
Ah.
yeah. So like 4 weeks of this, and then we'll do 4 weeks of something else next month, and so on. I think that might work. We'll try that out for a while, see what happens.
Nice.
So
Except for, we won't be able to do 4 weeks of your favorite Pauly Shore movies.
Actually,
We-
I don't think
love
we can do
Pauly
that.
I'm not sure I can do 5 minutes on that.
Yeah, I don't think I could do a whole episode on that.
I love Pauly Shore. Okay, he's
It's a free
listening to this,
country.
man.
It's a free
Hey,
country.
listen to this, okay? He's epic.
I still like the Battlestar Galactica remake, and I don't care what you say.
Oh, I will punch you in the soul later, sir.
One
It's
more,
Ronald
I have
D.
to- I have to
Moore,
read this
man.
on record. The funniest
I like it, too.
scene in all of The Office is when Jim is trying to get to Dwight, and Andy says to him, "So this new Battlestar Galactica, is it similar to the first one? It is basically a scene for scene remake." And you just see Dwight. It's like it's like he wants to explode.
That's awesome.
That might be the most untruthful thing I've ever heard in my entire
That's
life.
awesome.
Right? If it were, it would be better.
No, it wouldn't be.
Yeah,
I like them
Yes,
both.
it
Okay, just for the record.
I like them both, but I do like
no, the original is the best.
I
Anything other
didn't
than
say that.
is unacceptable.
I always go with John Colicos. Speaking of Canada,
Yeah.
I like Division 2. It is my favorite game system as well.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Everybody's entitled to their own opinions, even
No, they're
people who
not.
are wrong.
Not anymore.
Like yourself.
As long as you're not hurting anyone.
As long
Yeah,
as
yeah,
you're not
exactly.
I'm
hurting
very
That's
hurt
fine.
by this. We'll have
You're
words
entitled to
later.
your own opinion as long as you're not hurting anyone.
I'm right though.
Oh,
It's cute that you believe that. So stick around on my
I do
channel.
believe facts.
In just about 20 minutes, I'm going to be dropping my review, finally, at long last, of The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. The original BBC version, not the movie. I know Thrash will be happy about that. Speaking of things he and I disagree about.
That's a good movie.
Let's see.
On what
Other than that,
basis?
show up. I've got a Twitch stream that I do every Thursday night. I'm playing RoboCop. It's a lot of fun. And on Tuesdays and Saturdays, I show up on Harold's Twitch channel. So we can kill some zombies in 7 Days to Die, along with Linja the Space Ninja, and occasionally Uncle Joe, raw and unprepared. And I think that's all I got for now. What about you, Sarah? What you got?
Okay, so tonight, at 4 my time, I guess, Pons, Danny Staten, and I will be live, and they're going to talk about the thing that they're going to talk about, and I hit buttons and say weird things. There you go. And much like today, minus the buttons. But yeah, so we'll be live later for that, and then I'll be live Thursday with Snarky probably, and then repeat.
She's around.
I haven't got that far yet. Oh, there's a holiday Monday, I guess.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so happy holiday,
Go Labor.
whatever. Yeah, the Labor Days.
Go labor.
Yes,
You make me
or
too.
not.
Celebrate
Too
work
much
by
labor.
staying home.
That's right.
Exactly. Make sure you get good and refreshed for Tuesday.
Most of my guys are celebrating Labor Day by laboring, unfortunately. How much I try to convince them not to. But anyway.
Well, you can take the day off.
Yeah. I'm taking mine off.
I have
Harold,
Monday
what
off
you got?
anyway, so
So for me, Tuesdays and Saturdays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific. I've got on Twitch 7 Days to Die with Tug, Lynch of the Space Ninja, and when he's able to, Raw and Unprepared. Thursdays at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. I do Baldur's Gate 3, Choose Our Adventure with Anomaly 6_6_6 on Twitch, where the audience chooses makes our choices for us. And they have already three of our people that we could bring into our group. It's because it's D&D online, like in a game. 3 people that we could bring into our party, they've already chosen for us to kill them in some way or get them killed so that we can't have them. They enjoy seeing our pain, and it's fun. And we have fun with it. And then on Fridays, 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, Lynch of the Space Ninja and I do our own Baldur's Gate role-playing playthrough with Baldur's Gate 3. And she is a half-elf monk assassin, shadow monk assassin.
But what is she in the game?
Yeah, I know, right? It's basically
It's an
us.
easy
It's
joke.
basically us. No, but the characters do actually look like us and stuff, and so, but she is was her village was ransacked by human raiders, and so now she has animosity towards humans and is trying to come back. And I am a human necromancer. Warlock of Velshun, who is the god of necromancy, and my family died due to my cowardice, and I am trying to find a way to bring them back.
I'm
And
clipping
so,
that for sure.
yeah, and so in
So
any
you're
way
playing
possible.
yourself.
Yes, yeah, basically playing me. But it does actually kind of the character does actually kind of look like me. So we tried to do that, and so yeah, we have fun with it. But yeah, all of my if you go to Twitch, my schedule's there. It's the same Harold the Hatter with the underscores in between the words, or you can go to my TikTok. And the pinned are my schedules. I'm not streaming on YouTube just because of the fact that it lags me down to multi-stream and crashes too much. So that's why it's exclusively. And then I'm trying to post stuff on YouTube. And then you can follow me in all social medias.
Okay, Thrash, I love your frozen face.
Again.
It is
that might be the
wonderful,
best
sir.
one yet.
It's the best one. It is.
It's sublime. Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
I look like Churchill. Oh,
No, like I want to know the answers from you because you look like you have.
Were I your husband, madam, I'd drink it.
His also was.
As Sarah has very aptly pointed out tonight, in my time slot, it's going to be our time slot. We're going to probably do that in alternate weeks, but tonight I'm going to be with my friend Sister Sarah and Danny Staten, and we're going to have a 3-for-all in the time slot. So looking forward to it. I probably have some new content coming out this week. I've been working on a couple of my new creepy classics, and out of the blue, I had a friend of channel request. They want me to do a retrospect on Abbott and Costello Meet Frankenstein, and I could really run the gambit on that. I want to rewatch it before I do. Anyway, expect to the notorious Mr. Freeze. Thank you, Danny. But expect to see new content from me this week. And I hope to see you all tonight.
Okay.
That's a movie I'm probably not going to wind up covering because it's Universal, and Universal hates my channel. So
they hate everything.
Yeah.
Universally.
Anyway, I guess that's it. Unless you have something, Damien, which I'm pretty sure.
No, I'm still doing the same thing I always do.
Okay. You're the normie.
He is the brain.
It's me and the brain.
Right. So yeah, that's it. As always, never be ashamed of what you love. And
Unless
I guess never be ashamed of what you don't like. Yeah. As long as you're not hurting anybody. Okay.
It's so much fun. Night, everyone.
No, stop it.
Bye.
There we go.